I'm your host, Leslie Daniels.
And I'm Sierra Warren.
Today we have a special guest, Davita Smart.
Thank you guys for having me. My name is Davita Smart. I am a natural hair vlogger. You can find me on social medias at Davita Smart on YouTube and also at Hello Davita on Instagram.
So today we're going to be talking about hair care over the years. So this topic's basically going to go through how natural hair came about and through history and some important figures that made that come about.
In the beginning, black hair was thought to be not what you want. For lack of better words, it was not looked at as something good. It was looked down on. So over the years, people did certain things to help hair, which is one of the big influential names we have in the hair care line for black people is Madam C.J. Walker. She created the press and curl line, which is like a grease or serum or something like that to help your hair stay straighter for a longer period of time. And that's one of the biggest things that happened at that time period, because as we do have kinky or textured hair, it is harder for us to get that straight look. Like I said, it's hard for us to maintain that straight look. So Mr. Garrett A. Morgan funded the G.A. Morgan Hair Refinery Company, which he created the first creamy crack, known as the perm, to permanently straighten textured hair.
You guys, I actually have a story about my first perm. So I got my first perm at 8 years old. And I don't know why I was so excited. I just thought, oh, a perm, okay, my hair's gonna be straight, I don't have to deal with my hair anymore. Because as black women, we grow up and we think oh, our hair is difficult to deal with, it's so kinky, can't get the tangles out. So when I got that perm, I was so excited. So I would say about a couple months down the line, I got a perm, and I didn't get it by my usual lady. I got it from her assistant. And I guess she just kind of forgot about me while I was having the perm on. So she washed it out, everything, and it was burning. And I was like, oh my gosh, why is it burning so much? Because it burns a little bit, but it's not supposed to burn your whole head. So she washed my hair out, and I ended up having all the back of my hair just seared off.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. It was so traumatic for me because my hair was so long. It was down my back and gone, all of that.
I think we all have had some type of perm experience, because I remember my mom giving me my perm, and I thought it was a rite of passage.
Straight
you
hair
just I can finally get a perm. I can finally have straight hair, and I'll always remember it always burning, and I'm always getting sores.
Yes.
Throughout my head afterwards, and little sores, scabs in your head. And why am I, you don't really think about it, why is my mom straightening my hair? But it's a generational thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And up until recently, we just started to really appreciate and value our hair.
Right.
And also, when I first went natural, my family was like, girl, you need to do something to your hair. And I'm like, this is it. This is what it's gonna be.
Done.
And it took them so long to get out of that mentality that you're supposed to perm your hair. It took them a long time to accept the fact that, no, my hair is natural. This is the way that it's going to be from now on. And it's you have to unlearn that behavior of straight hair is the best hair.
We have to appreciate our hair, the way it grows out of our scalp, and just more so promote that self-love for your hair. After the creamy crack came out, people were running through that whole phase. In 1966, Pat Evans changed the game. She cut her hair off. A black woman with no hair, because as black women, hair is everything.
Yeah.
And so for her to not have hair and to, pose and be a fashion icon and to totally go bald was a step towards, I'm not my hair. I am a whole person without hair on my head. So yeah, I think that was very interesting.
And so when was this?
1966.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
It news to me.
it gets more interesting as I was looking at these facts and I was like, okay, okay, wow, this is so interesting because we're still fighting these same battles. Like Cicely Tyson, she went on TV with cornrows. And she's also on the cover of Jet magazine with cornrows in.
Now that was a big thing back then. My goodness.
And it's crazy because cornrows were the things that, like, back in slavery, they wore those to, like, keep their hair so it wouldn't, you know, fall off or get tangled or anything.
Because they were forced to wear it to cover their hair up.
Yes.
So they had to figure out a way to protect their hair when they were in that heat. And plus, you know, that fabric is no good for our hair.
Right.
The cotton's fabric. So, yeah. Wow.
In 1977, the Jerry curl makes its way to the scene, carrying the style through the 80s.
I remember the Jerry curl.
Me too. Me too.
Got juice dripping everywhere.
I was just about to say. I remember my uncle had a Jerry curl, right, guys?
Explain the Jerry curl for the viewers who don't know, like, what it is.
So it's similar to a perm, but it's more so like a loosening your texture, not necessarily like straightening it. And you continue to put this juice or like what's it called, a serum type of thing on your hair to keep that wet, juicy look. Yeah,
it's like a texturizer, basically.
Yeah,
like softening your curls, making it like curly, like making your hair do what it's not supposed to do.
We have the Good Hair conversation that reaches the big screen in School Days by Spike Lee in 1988. Good hair for me really means a lot. Like the whole term, good hair. I really feel some type of way, for lack of a better word, about the term, because what is good hair? What makes your hair good versus what makes hair bad? Hair is hair. It can be difficult. It can be hard to manage. It can be easy to manage. I mean, it just depends on what your hair is like. But I don't like to say that just because your hair is easy to manage, that means it's good. Because what if it can't curl? Or what if it can't do this? What if it can't do that? Then what makes it like good?
For me, I had to unlearn the definition of what good hair was. You know, I had to learn to love my hair for what it is and understand that my curls are not going to be a 3B or 3A or whatever the case may be, or even a 2C.
They just won't.
And, you know, even now I still have to correct my family and be like, you know, she got that good hair. I'm like, okay, so what is good hair? Let's define what good hair is, because we can't instill those same values and beliefs into the next generation.
Exactly.
We really want them to be able to love themselves for who they are. If their hair is a 4B or a 4C, it's still beautiful.
Living Single. Let's talk about that.
That's my show.
Living Single hit the block in the 90s. Featured 4 beautiful black women of all different hair textures, different bodies, different looks. They were like, it was the black group, and they weren't like a typical group of black girls that you could just say, oh yeah, they all look the same. No, they were totally different people doing totally different things, and their hair was different, and just the way they embodied themselves was totally different. I just want to say that we're not like grouped into one group of people, or like, you know?
Yeah, and I like that, even though I've never seen Living Single.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, but listen, I haven't seen a lot of, you know, black shows.
Have you seen Sex in the City? Oh, good. Okay, well, we're gonna get there.
So, yeah, but I like the concept that you have 4 different black women, different hairs, different bodies, different looks, because I feel like sometimes when people think of a black woman, they think of this one look.
Right.
And it's like, no, we come in all different shapes, sizes, textures, hair colors, all that type of stuff. And just kind of thinking about that dynamic is very good. It's very good for younger generations, younger girls growing up to see, oh, okay, I look different from the next black girl, but I'm unique in my own way. And then I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen Living Single, but I'm pretty sure all of those women were beautiful. All beautiful in their own way.
They all have different personalities, and that was one thing that I loved about them. And one thing I do love, like Queen Latifah is in.
That's my dog.
Oh, yeah. Love her. Queen Latifah is in
so
there.
I may have heard about it then.
You probably have seen it.
I promise
you might
you've
have
seen
seen it.
But
Queen Latifah Latifah, she did have her hair straightened majority of the time, and Queen Latifah usually always has her hair straightened. But she always wears her natural hair. It's always, she never wears weave, and no offense to wear weave, but it was just like, it was great to see a woman just accept herself for who she is and not try to mold themselves into what Hollywood wanted them to be.
Right.
And I just really enjoyed the fact that they portrayed black women in a different light, and everybody was different. And I think everybody thinks that, oh, a black woman has to be this certain way, and that's not true. You know, we're all different people, just like any other race. You know, you have different people, and so that's one thing that I really loved about Living Single is that it did portray women in black women in a different light and show that we are different. We're not, you know, in unison. We're not the same. So I did love that.
Okay, y'all are gonna hate me, but I've never seen Poetic Justice. However, I know the movie. I've seen the flyers, and yes, she brought box braids. Box braids were the thing in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I go to my stylist, I say, "Can I get the Janet braids?" Period.
Box braids, they're just so. Sometimes they can take a long time depending on how small you get them, how big you get them, but they're always like the go-to for protective styles. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's so versatile. It's like I can get like different styles in my hair while though I'm protecting my hair from so much going on.
Exactly.
I'm in school right now, in graduate school, and so when I saw two of my classmates walk in and both of them had braids, I was like, yes, yes, because we really need to just make it a normal thing to see black women have different hairstyles. Yes. And still view them as educated, still view them as smart. Because a lot of times you walk in the workplace and people will judge you just by your hair.
Right.
And I feel like that's not fair. Like, you know, as a black woman, we have black girl magic.
Hello.
And so we can change our hair and still be a boss.
Right.
And still be executive.
I can have my fro in and I can still be a secretary or a boss or CEO.
But have you seen the newscaster that had the box braids?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my gosh. It was all over Instagram and I was just like, amen. Because at school, I had box braids in one time for a shoot or whatever. And my boss was just like, I don't really think you should be anchor woman today. And I'm like, what? Why? He's
HR.
like, your hair doesn't really like fit the... And I'm like, I am educated. I'm giving the facts. I am doing my job.
And for you to have to even explain yourself, first of all, whoever that was inappropriate.
Right.
By
All
coming to you and saying anything about your hair. My hair has nothing to do with what I bring to the table. It has nothing to do with my intellect. It has nothing to do with that. I actually have a story. My last manager, we were in the break room together. And first of all, I don't really like to be in intimate settings with people in general. It just makes me uncomfortable, especially like my boss. I'm walking in the break room and she's there. I'm just like, Lord, help me.
Yes.
I don't want to be here. And then she was like, you know what, Davina? You never wear your hair how you wore it when you first came in for the interview. And I was like,
That would trigger me.
I said, well, you know, I was going on, you know, I would get the interview, but then when I would come there with my natural hair, I wouldn't get the job. So my mom told me to wear a wig, a straight hair wig. And anytime I would go in for an interview, I would get the job if I wore my hair with the straight hair wig. And I said, so that is the reason why I only came in with that. But once I got the job, I went back to wearing my natural hair. And she was like, oh, I really do like your natural hair though. Okay.
I bet.
So why did you ask me that?
Right.
That was inappropriate.
Basically, she's saying, oh, if you would have came with your natural hair, bitch, I wouldn't have hired you.
That's essentially what she said, right?
Right.
Exactly.
But we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. And we're going to talk about a natural hair product that we have. So it's called Wetline Gel. And then Leslie can tell us more about that.
So, Wetline Gel. So, I don't know if you guys remember, but Eco Solid Gel was being like banned or whatever. And so it was a new flip from Eco to Wetline. And I was like, okay, what's this Wetline thing about? It's about it. It's it. It lays my hair down. It makes my curls pop. It is literally amazing and it's so moisturizing. I don't feel like I need to add extra gel, or not gel, any oils or anything on top of it. It works for me. Today I actually use wet line to lay this down.
I actually use wet line today too, I ain't gonna lie.
I love wet line.
I use it to define my curls, and it's a staple.
Yeah, look at her curls. Amazing.
It's a staple.
So we want to give a shout out, okay girl, to Whitney the Stylist on IG. I'm sorry, _ Whitney the Stylist. We'll have a picture here so you can see what she looks like. So check her out on Instagram, and yeah.
Yes, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And we will be back with another episode soon.